Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Twiz, and welcome back to another episode of our tutorial series. And today we're gonna talk about oil. As you can see, I've placed some random oil patches there, and we'll put some pump jacks on. Then, of course, we will need quite a few of them, but we can, of course, simply copy them over in a second, and then that will be fine. Sorry for these over there. That's looking good. Let's spread some power poles. And actually, we will need some kind of energy source as well. So let's choose an active energy source here, a creative one, for the tutorial purpose. Now let's copy that over. Perfect. Then we should be able to connect all of these up in a second. There we go. All of them connected. Very nice. Now we'll just put down some tanks over here to store some of our oil. Actually, that's something I tend to not do in my base except for at the oil train stations. Because actually, you don't really need to store any oil, or not a lot. You'll go ahead and simply process it. And then here we'll put some refineries to crack up that oil into heavy oil, light oil, and of course the petroleum gas. That's the advanced oil processing recipe. It takes in oil and water. That's different to the standard oil processing thing. Here we'll put in some water and some oil lines. And then this is already hooked up. Of course, we'll need some power poles as well. There we have some. And then we will need ourselves some outputs. Over here we'll do just simply plain old heavy oil at the inside, like that. And then next up is gonna be light oil. So that's looking nice, and on the far outside we'll put some petroleum gas. That's gonna do fine there. And then of course we'll need our third line in there. That's gonna be done quite quick. There you have it. And then something I really like to do is to have them also fed in from the other side. Of course, that would be perfect like this. But normally it's not gonna work that way, simply because it's connecting the wrong lines. As you can see, it's not working because we're trying to get under a belt where we're already underground. So we can't do it that way. Nonetheless, I'll show you a very easy possibility. We'll just have to replace it one further down or one further up, or maybe even two will work. Actually, I think, yeah, let's go for one. Then of course disconnect all of that and hook it back up. That's the petroleum gas, very easy here. Then we'll have the light oil next up. Very nice. Just easy as that. And there we're done with that. So let's do the heavy oil next. And then we're done with that as well. And let's actually go ahead and copy this one time. That's gonna be enough for one row, I guess. Let's actually split that and just for the looks, put it in there. That really looks kind of decent in my eyes. And then of course we will need to hook up the power poles in between the lines. And actually I'm looking for a good spot, or exactly the same as on the other side. There we have it, nice. Now let's hook it up to our power cell, just like that, very nice. And then of course we will need oil and water. Let's do the oil first here. That's all gonna be on that level. That was water, sorry. So let's go for the oil. No. I think I messed up again. That looks quite decent, I think. It should be connected the right way. Yes, that's looking good now. So we have water there on the inside. That's looking quite good. We should be good to go with that setup. And then of course we will need some offshore pumps. Let's go for maybe four lines, 4 pumps, making some kind of sense. And hook it up like that. And like that. Of course the final one. Then we're good to go, I think. That's looking nice. And that one as well. So now we get the oil in, very nice. And then of course we will need to power this pump. That's looking fine, all of them should work. Very good. So let's actually think about what we'll do afterwards with it. So first of all, let's store some of it inside of these tanks here. We'll go for, I think that's a decent amount of tanks. So let's go for maybe that size each. Let's have the same distance in between. No, that's one too close. Let's put it there, perfect. And now let's hook it up. First of all, the heavy oil. Then of course we'll need the second heavy oil input as well, or output of the oil refineries. Depends on the way you look at it. And there we are, very nice. Then we can put down already the pump for our light oil and for the petroleum gas. So let's actually put the petroleum gas over there. Very nice. Then we should be able to hook up that one as well. Very nice. And finally the light oil. Actually, yes, we can simply shorten these. That's way easier than going further down. So let's do that here, and then finally hook it up to the light oil on the right side. That's looking already very good. And then of course some power poles. And hooking it up, very nice. As you can see, we already get the outputs. Heavy oil, light oil, and of course the petroleum gas in there. And then we can think about what we'll do next with the oil. So of course we will need some chemical plants. On the one hand, we'll need lubricant from heavy oil, and then we want to crack the heavy oil into light oil, and we want to crack the light oil into our petroleum gas, which we will need the most in the beginning. And then and then of course we'll have to control the amount of heavy oil that is getting cracked, so we will always have enough heavy oil to produce lubricant, because we will desperately need that later on. So that's our lubricant facility already done. Let's put down a tank for that as well. Maybe that's a little big. We can definitely get rid of some of it later on as well. There we have our pump. Of course, we will need some power poles for the whole area here. So first of all, the side, the top and the side, very nice. Then all that's left to do is hook it up to the grid. That we'll do right there and there. Nice. And then giving it some lubricant, of course. And now let's hook that up. Yes, let's hook up all the tanks. You can either go for hooking up just one tank and then finding your amount or your formula, whatever. But I like to hook up all the tanks and then simply give it a number of, we'll have 4 times 4, that's 16, times 25k, that's 400k, so let's maybe go for 100k or something like that. Of course we will need heavy oil here. Ah no, shoot. Of course we will not limit it here, we'll limit it here, because that's the pump that will pump the oil, or the heavy oil, into our cracking facility. So here we'll do 100,000, and then this way our lubricant setup is prioritized all the time. That's very nice. Then we can spread to over there and think of a way to get ourselves our cracking facility. First of all, of course, we will need more chemical plants. Actually, right now you can see we have 29k heavy oil in there. So right now no heavy oil will be cracked, everything is gonna be made into lubricant. And that's because of the huge storage tank we have down there. So let's maybe get rid of some of it and just leave a tiny little rest. That's gonna be enough, I guess. Probably. And then let's start with our cracking facility. Wait a second, let's move that over further to the right, so we have some space to also get our water input. And then of course we will have a simple one-line output that's straight, and that's gonna go straight into our light oil tank, of course. because it's gonna be light oil. Let's hook it up with some pipes and of course a pump. Then we will definitely choose the recipe, and then we can see that we will need water. So let's do the water on the insides and the heavy oil on the outsides, as you can see here. That's nice. And now we finally do the other side. Then of course we'll need water there as well. So let's simply connect everything up with power. And actually we'll need another pipe there. Then let's put it there and there and there. Nice. And then we can simply copy this section over to, like, that's 8, that's 12, 16, 20, 24. That's nice. Very efficient layout in my eyes. So let's grab maybe, yes, maybe simply the whole thing. Let's put it down. Wait, let's actually move it one further over. Doesn't matter. There we go. So then this is hooked up, and then no, we can't. Okay. Yeah. Of course we'll have to change to petroleum gas. So we can hook that up. Now that's working. We'll need some water over here as well. So let's take some undergroundies. Connect all the water up. Go around our thingies here. Let's go further out. That's looking fine. Let's go up. And then we can simply get a new offshore pump and put some pipe in this corner down there, and we're good to go. Now this should start to work, at least the heavy oil should. The light oil shouldn't, because of course we don't have any input yet. There we go. Now we have the pump working. Of course you can as well do some circuit network on your light oil. I would also suggest you to do that. I'll show you in a second. For example, if you have some solid fuel production, you of course want the solid fuel to be prioritized over your light oil cracking. So that's gonna be a thing in a second. I'm just checking here whether that's all fine. Now, of course, as you can see here, the solid fuel needs the least resources if you take light oil. So let's do that. And let's simply hook up a small area. That's just for demonstration purposes. Of course, you can do it however you like. Choose your values however you like. It's just a good example that you can use circuit network very efficiently here to control what products are getting prioritized. So here we'll need one simple input, and that's a pipe of light oil. Nonetheless, I can screw that up. Of course, we could hook it up right direct here, but of course we are not that stupid. We want to prioritize our solid fuel making, so we'll get another pump in. And of course, first of all, let's make that longer. That's 12, and that's 16, 20, 24. That's looking quite fine. So now let's get ourselves that pump going. and hook up all the tanks. And of course I messed up one thing over here again. I took the wrong, how do you call it, the wrong pump to connect to the circuit network. Of course this one is not gonna be connected to the circuit network, but the one for oil cracking is gonna be. So let's change that real quick here. Let's deconnect that and connect that one, and then tell it to enable if light oil is greater than 100,000. There we go, very nice. That's looking good. And now all of that is working. As you can see, we've got already a good amount of petroleum gas. The light oil as well, but of course a lot of it is getting as well transformed into petroleum gas or solid fuel. And then that's looking very fine. Of course you can vary your setup here quite a lot, but I think that's quite a pleasant starter setup. You can definitely add some more stuff which we will need, for example, of course, plastic, sulfur, batteries, maybe even explosives, and what else is there? Sulfuric acid, of course, lubricant we already have. Nonetheless, quite a lot of things in your area over here, but I don't think we're gonna do them in this episode. If you want, I can do a further tutorial on that, but I think that's a good point to end this episode here. I hope you liked it. If you did, then please leave a like, comment and subscribe. And of course, if you want to see a special tutorial on anything concerning Factorio or one of the other games I played, just tell me in the comments and I'll think about it and do that. Bye!